Hello there, this is me, Minewolf, and I am playing Cities Skylines. I will be starting on this wonderful map today. This is Stingray Bay. I grabbed it off the workshop. I did do some modifications. I went through in the editor and replaced the big roads and some of the railways with these smaller roads because I just find that to be a better, funner experience if you have these small roads you can start out of, instead of having huge highways go through your landscape from the beginning. I also switched out the railways for some workshop assets that I find to look a little nicer. Now, for now, I want to start over here, and you can see also in the editor I prepared this little loop that goes around here. And this is pretty close to the edge, but I want to start here because in the beginning, as you unlock all the milestones and stuff, building the city is a bit hard. So I want to start that here, and later when I have more stuff unlocked, of course, I will be building the capital right here in this area, on this river delta. Okay. For this first episode, as I said, I'm starting with milestones. I will mostly be just doing rough road layouts here and zoning down industry and commercial stuff, because I want to get to this milestone where we get landscaping so that we can start properly decorating things. Until we get there, it's not really all that interesting since you can't really do a lot. I tend to start a little gritty, especially in the starting towns, because it's just efficient. You can get a lot of people in like that. I'm planning to have this as like a main road, and we will have on both sides we will have the town, of course, with the nice coastline. I definitely want to do fun stuff with the coastline. Okay. So to start off, let's build some roads down here so we unlock the other ones. And the first real thing I want to do is convert this to a 4-unit road, so that it's no longer this highway style, and you can have it as a main avenue. And I already forgot, I'm using network skins here, the mod, to convert these to have these little blacker color. It looks a little more like asphalt. I just find that more realistic, and I think it looks a lot better. It's a bit more contrast. It's not so washed out like the normal roads. Okay. For some trees on the road. For my residential roads, I like the ones with the wider sidewalks. I feel that makes a lot of sense, but from this main road I want to have some not wide sidewalk roads down here, functioning as collectors essentially. They also have some parking so that we don't have to put parking spaces in our residential areas. Now, putting these in 50-unit increments down here, and then I will use the wide sidewalks to go over here. And again, black asphalt color looks so much better. Going over here, and I will go one more down here, give a little space right there. Now, for the entryway right here, we're gonna do a little roundabout, 2-lane road. When using the roundabout builder, it'll always be doing this color. So I'll just go through and upgrade these to the color I want. There we go. Now the simple amenities, water tower, water lines underneath the roads. And for electricity, usually I like to go with wind turbines, but I would have to put them over here and do a long power line. So I got these wonderful solar panels. They're tiny, and I'm just going to put them next to the road here. Like that. Perfect. Now for our initial zoning. I don't want the residential to be right up on the main avenue here, so I'll be putting it down here for now. Perfect. We'll have some commercial up here just to transfer the power. Don't want it right there. Like that. And I think I should skip this gap. I'm just going to use this transformer. Perfect. Now we can start and watch as the first citizens move in, hopefully. There we go. Now I have a lot of assets, mainly the big suburbs and the American eclectic theme to have some nicer housing. That does mean we will get these construction areas from the American eclectic. I don't mind them too much, especially later. When you get parks, they level up so quickly. That doesn't really matter. And you can see I forgot to place down sewage treatment. Now I definitely over in this area right here. I want my industry area. I want like a fishing port down here, and I want a public works campus. So just to get that started, I will build another road down here and just have it extend over here. And this is where we will place our water treatment. I like the inland plants because dumping into the ocean just pollutes, and that's not nice. So I'll be using the inland water treatment plant, and let's connect that up here. And power-wise, how much power does that need? Does it say here? 240 kilovolts. And this is 10 megawatts. Quite the transformer. Is this cheaper? No, it's the same. We're just gonna put some more solar panels right here next to this thing. Now again, as I said, all of this is just temporary. I will make this a lot nicer later. And of course, get up proper, like a nice, maybe next to this road up here, a nice solar field farm. But for now, this is the easiest solution. And you can see all the people are getting happy. So we can, we'll extend out the grid. As I said, initially very grid-like, but that's just because you can pack them very nice and neatly like that. Send that in like that. There we go. Don't forget the pipes. There we go. Now I just saw that up here we still have traffic lights. I don't want that. I want simple giveaway signs up here. All of these. Like that. Like that. Perfect. Also on the roundabout, giveaway coming into the roundabout. Like that. Excellent. Now that we have our first citizens move in and these blocks fill up a little, we are getting our first industrial demand. And especially for industry, I feel zoning is extremely weird. I'm gonna zone them here just to demonstrate what I mean. These are not gonna have power, they're gonna complain. Let's zone it all the way over here. Now, as these will come in, you will see that just random industries pop up here right next to each other. And of course, we could now go in and do it grid-like, pack them real tight. But then you're gonna see just a bunch of random factories bunched in together. And I really dislike that. I really think that looks stupid. I'm gonna leave these for now, just to further demonstrate what I mean. But what I like to do industry-wise is build little compounds. Again, without landscaping, this is kind of hard, especially because I like to fence them in and decorate them, of course. So until we get landscaping, what I'm gonna do, just to make sure we have everything set up, is I have my Rico here, and I will just go in and build this factory because it has a lot of workplaces for uneducated citizens, and since we don't have unlocked any education yet, that's exactly what we need. And I just plop 2 of them. And because they have a ton of workplaces, you can see here 63. These will be able to employ pretty much everyone. Now, of course, this is not nice. I will demolish these later. This is just for now, so that I can get through this initial stage until I get into proper decorative stuff. I'm also the 850 population needed for the districts. It's also going to be a huge milestone because we can then set the themes, so we will have control over what houses appear, because there are some pretty ugly ones. This one, for example, it just looks absolutely horrific. Giant cube of green. Like I don't mind these. They're just small and they'll go away eventually. But this is just, it's giant. It's a giant cube and it's completely ugly. I absolutely hate it. Okay. I'm not honestly not a huge fan of these. I know these are vanilla. These hedges on these, especially when they're spaced like this. I don't know. I mean, there's no hedge in between here, so I guess you could like move them in together or something like this. But to me, these just feel weirdly spaced. This one too. Can't really see it because it's night right now. I'll just turn off day-night cycle for now, so we can see. There you go. Yeah, I really don't like these. These, this one is a bigger house, I think, big suburbs. I don't really mind these because the fence pretty much goes up to the edges of the asset anyways. So if you plop them next to each other, it's gonna look fine. But in instances where it doesn't, it just, especially when you have different hedges like here, it just looks weird, and I don't like it. There we go. Now, as we plop down these huge factories now, our residential demand is going to come up again, and I will just start to fill in a bunch of roads. Now, none of these roads are final, especially around here. I fully expect to be breaking up the grid a little bit later to fit in a park or maybe a pedestrian area, something like that. But as we haven't unlocked that yet, all of that will have to wait. Also, in an effort to make this more pedestrian friendly, I will fit in some of these roads. Now these are workshop asset, and these work as roads, but they essentially look like paths, and they have little street lights. I don't know why they're not showing up, but they have little street lights on them too. And these connect into the road, so you can zone on these if you want to, and you can just the emergency vehicles and stuff like that pass through. And in an effort to pedestrianize our city a little bit, I will be putting some of these in between these neighborhoods. That will mean I have to demolish some of these homes, but I don't care, kind of, especially because it doesn't cost me anything. Now this is being rude with its nodes. And there's the 25. All these pass through. There we go. And zone in 2 more blocks up here. Now, so we don't have trucks and other vehicles passing through here eventually, we'll go through with traffic manager and disallow these. Oh, not that one, these ones. On all of these. Now, sadly, because of these junctions, you can't apply entire road. That only works from node to, like, junction node to junction node. So if I were to do it here for this segment, I could apply it to this whole road, but it won't work like this. So just go through here manually. I don't know why it doesn't do this automatically. There is later some bus roads that I also downloaded. These ones here. These ones. Actually, I already have them. And when you go in here with Traffic Manager, you'll see that they're already set up like this, so that personal vehicles and transport vehicles can't pass on them. I don't know why I can do it for these paths, since you don't actually want vehicles driving down these. But that is, I mean, I don't know how to mod. Maybe it's difficult. Now, as our residentials fill in, we see a lot of these ugly cubes appearing. And all of these colors are so horrible too. And our first milestone, Little Hamlet. Healthcare and schools. And garbage. Now for the garbage, again, we're gonna make this look nice later. For now, just gonna plop it down back here, away from the residential. And I have the vehicle selector. I downloaded some nice vehicles. A little smaller garbage truck for the urban areas. And a huge garbage truck for transport. Excellent. For our services, same as for everything up to now. I'll just plop these in up here. Why is this high school? This is a high school. This works as a high school. That's interesting. I don't think you're supposed to unlock that yet. Well, yes, schools, like everything else, temporarily gonna pop some in up here. Just to make our citizens happy. There we go. Now we see this one factory that I plopped here has been abandoned. Just gonna go into move it and reset it quickly, since we are starting to get some industrial demand again. And I'm also gonna zone some additional commercial up here, just to get that demand satisfied. Now all our residentials filled in, but we still have demand, so another block it is. Now when it comes down here, I drew this wavy road on the coastline, and oh, forgot the water. Let's fill in the water pipes under the roads. I feel this is really annoying. When you have the snap tools on and put the water pipes, they snap weird, and a lot of times they end up like just beside the road for me. And I think it's annoying, but oh well. As long as it looks like they're on the roads, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it doesn't really matter where they are anyway. You could just grid the whole map. But I like to put them under the roads for realism purposes. I know I was saying this wavy road, and especially coming in from the grid pattern to the wavy pattern, I feel is hard, especially if you let the game zone it, because the game will do wonky things. So if I was to just zone this in, this is okay up here, right there, but it gets weird here. I mean, 2x2 is just not a nice size for houses. So we could zone this in, but then we have all this free space in here. Oh, you could maybe put a little park or something, or just some trees, some nice spaces, but these houses are already very low density, and a lot of them have a lot of trees already, especially these big ones. This is more tree than house right here, and I don't feel like they need a lot of tree spaces additional to that. So you always need. That's why I usually like maybe here, so we can put a park later. We can just tear down this road, and the park can be nice and wavy too, and fit the wavy coastline. For some reason, this map theme, I really like it on the rocks. I think they look a lot better on vanilla, and than in vanilla, and I really like it on the beaches. But if you have coastline that is neither rock or beach, it just looks really weird right here. It because the grass goes down into the sea, and then that just looks a bit off. Maybe I have to go through between recordings and put some rocks here or something, some prop rocks to make it not look as bad, because this is just weird. The grass going into the sea is just a little rough transition. Now we're filling in a lot of commercial demand. I'm just gonna zone this whole block over here. Now you might also have seen that I'm putting most stuff on this side. This is, or everything pretty much. This is because this side is a lot more. It has natural borders down here with the sea, and over here with these mountains, and over here kind of this mountain, the forest. So I can easily fit this in here, and then once we get up here, I don't want all of this to be city. I don't want it to be that huge. We'll maybe have some agriculture or some forestry industry up here, and I essentially want to wait till I can fit in a rail line maybe to go over here, or maybe down here, something like that, before I start building a lot up here. Now again, demand is high. Let's measure out the middle, build the paths, do that, and fill in more residential zoning, like that. Continue the water pipes over here. Now what we can also do to, next milestone, very nice. Districts, that's very nice. Some more services. Very first thing, let's paint a district. Let's get the huge brush out. Paint over all of this. Doesn't have to be very accurate. Like that. And we're going to go into themes right here. Enable theme manager. And on the automatically zoned in ones, I want big suburbs and American eclectic. Right there. Excellent. Now, what I was saying is also to alleviate some of this residential demand, we can plop some residential buildings with Rico. And I have right here, let's do it right here. In the high residential, I have these Brooklyn workshop collection Brooklyn, and they come in a lot of varying heights. Like you have these smaller ones, and then they get taller, and and taller, and eventually they can get quite tall. These are all the same height. This is not much taller, but they get a little taller still. Nah. These are all not that tall. Maybe this is as tall as they got, but like that. And they are pretty dense, but I feel they fit very well for the densest part of the city, essentially. So we'll have these along the main road, maybe, and then we'll have some gradually decreasing density down to the seashore. I'm gonna fill in this block, and what I usually do is just go through and put in the corners first. Put some corner buildings. Let's get rid of these. Let's move our services so they're not on the way. Yes, you're already mad at me. And let's actually draw in this right here. Now, because we have this avenue right here. Yes, of course. Because we have this avenue right here, I don't want this to be. I don't want a node here. I don't want this to connect. I don't want that junction there, essentially. So I'm just going to draw this up to here and move it to connect it right there like that. So there's a pedestrian connection here, but cars. There's essentially no junction here, so cars can just pass by. And let's go in here, forbid these vehicles. There we go. Now, on to the plopping. And while plopping down, we jumped to our next milestones. Tiny town, and finally unlocked landscaping. Now, I can also see the terrain gradient here. I'm gonna flatten a little into here, just to make some space for the harbor down here. And to have a little sharper transition into this mountain. And, of course, now we finally have our fences, and we have our paths, and all of those fun things. But this is where I will leave it off for today. I understand this wasn't terribly exciting. It doesn't really look good so far. But now that we have our landscaping, the next thing we can do is make it look awesome. And with that, I shall thank you for watching and hopefully see you next time. Bye bye.